Hello everyone, and welcome back to the BosqueeNet adventure. It's still winter time, and yes, we're out for a camping adventure. The snow was a little deep in some areas, and so there was some good trudging, so I gotta take a moment and catch my breath. There were a few moments there where I would take a step and all of a sudden be, up to my knee, right? And it would take me just a little bit to get out of the mess that I got myself into. But I did make it up here to camp. I am at someplace new tonight. This was a place that I've passed several times. And sometimes you just don't have it in you to keep trudging. Well, this is my cop-out spot for this evening. Though I think it's going to be a real nice one. I think I'm going to set up just over here. I think there's a nice flat spot just right up over here that I'm going to try pitching for tonight. I will have to pack it down. So after I catch my breath here for a moment, I am going to start pitching the tent right up here and start setting up a little bit of a camp area. I hope you all stick around with me and enjoy this adventure. But as for now, let's start getting camp all set up. Maybe this spot ain't the best. Tell you what, I feel like I'm playing in quicksand. Oh my goodness. Alright, so if you couldn't tell by now, I'm currently using my Naturehike Cloud Up 2 Pro. This is my second time using it. I really liked it the last time. It just seemed to work really well for this cold, snowy weather. It has the high skirt on the inner tent that helps keep out all of this snow, but it also has the upper high mesh that really helps on keeping the condensation down in the tent. The stakes that come with the Naturehike tent are pretty puny and don't really work well in the snow. So I decided to bring the stakes from my One Tigress tent, and as you can see, they are much bigger. So I'm going to be using these stakes to help hold out the vestibule area and the sides of the tent. those stakes are way better for this snow. They just dig just a little bit deeper. It'll hold it out just great. Tent's all set up. Man, this snow is like walking in quicksand today. So it really takes my breath away, if you know what I mean. But now let's go ahead and get our sleeping arrangements all taken care of. I will say, working in the snow like this is not for the faint of heart. It is certainly a whole lot more work and a lot more effort to get everything all set up in the snow. But let's see here. Everything is set up now. There is a little bit more of prep work that I need to do. I do plan on having a fire tonight. There was a downed tree with a whole bunch of exposed branches over here. I brought my SkyMax stove. Not going to make a huge fire, but just enough to kind of dry the knees off a little bit. The snow is a bit wetter than what it appears. So I'm going to start collecting some branches. In a bit, we'll get a fire going. Also make some dinner. Looking forward to that. But let's see here. I'm just kind of enjoying the atmosphere. Like I said, this is a different area for me. So no majestic mountain views. I'm kind of tucked in the trees here. A little bit different. But how about this? Before I collect the firewood, let's do just a little bit of a walkabout, and I'll show you where I'm all set up. See, got a little deep trudging through this area here just to get up to camp. It was a lot of work, to say the least, especially in this section here. Yes, I know, my snowshoes would have helped. I just didn't bring them, forgot to put them into the truck. But on the back side of this hill right here, on the back side of there, that's where we typically do all of our hammock camping and get all the majestic views of the mountain. But hey, winter decided to come. And we got a whole lot more snow, and it's just a little bit harder to get over there. It is much steeper than coming to where I'm at right now. It's a narrower path, it's steeper, and with the snow, it was just going to be too much of a slog uphill climb. So, I'm passing on it. But we're going to still have a ton of fun. This is the downed tree that I was talking about. So, plenty of branches that I can cut off and make a fire with in my SkyMax stove. So I'm looking forward to that. But, just to continue on in the views here, we'll go ahead and just do a glide by, right? We've been up this way before. Up on the top of the hill, up at this direction, that's where our second camp is. But again, too much snow to get there this time of year. It is absolutely gorgeous, though. While we're here chatting for a moment, let me pull out my phone and tell you all about the weather that's coming our way. The forecast for tonight states mostly cloudy with snow showers. High temperatures near 33 degrees. New snow accumulation is expected to be less than half an inch. While it does look like some weather is on its way, it doesn't sound like it's going to amount to much snow. But hey, we'll enjoy it anyway. Have a nice chair this time. But figured this is where I'm going to set up my fire for tonight. I've got my SkyMax stove, got my iClimb table. This is going to just kind of be the kitchen area of the camp tonight. Decided I didn't want to do all my cooking at the entrance of the tent this time. And since the weather's holding out and the storm's not supposed to get here till somewhere around midnight, this will be a perfect spot. This stove is all kinds of warped out of shape now, but it'll still work. The time may be limited on this one. There's some thicker logs over here. I think I'm going to saw a couple of chunks so that I can set my stove up on it. Yep, I'm just going to split this guy down in two, and that way I can set my stove on it, and the stove, as it gets hot, won't just sink deep, deep, deep into the snow. Yes, the fire is going to scorch those logs, but it'll take a moment for it to do that. And hey, maybe by the end of the night, I'll end up just burning the 2 logs underneath it. But for the meantime, I'm going to do my best to just keep the fire contained, nice and small. I don't need anything big, but I do think that'll work out just fine for me tonight. We need to get to checking to see what the temperature is here. That was in my pocket. It is not 61 degrees. So we'll go ahead and get that set up just over here on my trekking pole and see what the temperature is. We'll go ahead and check on the temperature here in just a little bit, but we got to let the thermometer acclimatize first. In the meantime, it's 5 o'clock. We're going to start losing light quickly now. Let's go ahead and get the fire started. Now, I do just have my pile of wood just stacked up right here behind me. There was a nice spot with some branches, and it just kept it right out of the snow. I love these fire starters. We're just going to start off with one little cube tonight and see if that's all we need. A little bit of breeze. Good little Y branch to put around it. Start getting some little twigs in there. Well, maybe that's not a little twig, that's a branch. But it'll go. Oh yeah, that's for sure gonna catch. Feels like I haven't had a fire in a long time too. Probably about a month now. Thumbs up if you like the camping and campfires. It only took one little cube of the fire starter. So those things work awesome. If I remember, the link for the fire starters will be down in the description below if you're interested in them. But I think in the meantime, I'm also going to get my stove going and start cooking my dinner. Again, before we get going here, I just need to make sure that that jet's clean. But I've got a full tank of gas, and I'm all set. I'm still getting used to this stove, but I've recently discovered a new way, and how I like to light this stove. And it starts with a little wick, just like this. This is just one square of toilet paper. And I dip that into the fuel. Just kind of wick some of that up. Do both ends. Yep, just like that. And then I just wrap it around the neck. Put the fuel cap back on, of course. Make sure that's nice and tight. Light it up. Just like that. We're good to go. Load that baby up. All right, for dinner tonight, we are going to be doing some ramen. And because these store-bought containers of ramen are far too plain Jane for me, I do have some vegetables that I'm going to add to it and some chicken. Again, just some chicken that I cooked the other night, diced it up, already cooked, so I'll add that to the ramen once it's all set. This is an experiment for dinner tonight, so fingers crossed that it's good. My vegetables are a little bit frozen. I am going to add them to the water just so they warm up. All right. Looks like everything has come to a boil there. And now for our water with all the veggies in it. We'll go ahead and throw our chicken in at this time too. All right, so it's going to take a moment for that to cook. Once it's all set, we'll bring you all back, but in the meantime, let's just continue enjoying the campfire. Looks like the temperature is settled in at 30 degrees. I think dinner's all set. I brought chopsticks up with me too. But let's go ahead and check this out here real quick. Loaded ramen. That looks tasty. Let's dig in. This is a heap of food. Oh my goodness. I was hoping that when I bought it in this nice fancy container that it'd be more than just the typical noodles in a cup. but it's just noodles in a cup, just with some fancy flavoring to go with it. So I'm really glad that I brought up the chicken and veggies. I was hoping for a heartier noodle, though. The broth is pretty decent. Chunks of chicken. Perfect. Awesome. Well, sorry. I should stop saying perfect. It isn't perfect. The noodles are weak. The broth, the extra chicken and veggies, it really added to this. If I had just brought up the noodles, I would be pretty sad right now. Anywho, I've got a mountain of food to enjoy, and I'm going to dig in. Dinner was filling. I did enjoy it. What is it? Was it exactly what I wanted? No. Was it better than a freeze-dried meal? Probably not. It wasn't all that hot, guys. It was an experiment. It was okay. It was my dinner for tonight. It was lots of calories, so I guess that's what I needed for this evening. Will I do it again? No, probably not. But hey, that's one of the things that I really like to do out here on camp, is to try new foods and new ideas and everything else. So for all of those who like to take ramen up with them camping and backpacking and everything else, I mean, I guess to each their own, but I prefer something a little bit more substantial. I was just rewatching some old videos that I had produced, and, you know, a hamburger right now? Oh, yeah, that would have been way the heck better. But oh well, you live, you learn. We'll just cross that one off the list and not repeat it. Yeah, that's been good. I set the pot on its side here, and it's kind of just radiating the heat. Set the glove on there, and it just kind of gets the moisture out of the gloves. They had gotten a little wet from moving around all the snow. Now, you may or may not have noticed, but in our last outing with each other, that morning I was moving just a little bit slow. Somewhere during the night, I do not know what I did, but I tweaked my back and hip pretty darn bad. And, you know, I didn't think that I did anything too terribly bad, but I was definitely sore in my back right hip and everything. As soon as I got home, I mean, like, my back just absolutely seized up. My hip, my lower back, everything was just all kinds of wrong. So I've been actually recovering for the past 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I've been able to go out on an adventure. But it took a good solid week for my back to just finally calm down and to not hurt anymore. But as of today, you know, kind of everything's calmed down. I've been doing a lot of mobility stretching. You know, I just don't do that enough. So I think one of my resolutions for this year is to be a better stretcher, right? You know, I do the weightlifting. I obviously go out hiking, snowshoeing. I'm an active individual, but I don't spend a lot of time on the stretches. You know, perhaps I should, and in fact, I will. I've been doing all kinds of hip exercises and everything is feeling so much better now. So yeah, I've been down and out with some injuries for a little bit, but I am absolutely happy to be back out and enjoying this adventure with you all. And I think it's been a while since I've done a shout out. You know, there's all kinds of new subscribers to the channel. We're officially over 300 subscribers now, so thank you very, very much to all my subscribers out there and joining me on these adventures. You know, the best way that you can support the BosqueeNet adventure is by liking this video and subscribing if you're not yet a subscriber. Again, to all you who are subscribers and watching, thank you very much for joining me on my adventures. Alright everyone, I'm getting set to put the fire out. You can see it created a nice melted hole underneath the fire, but it didn't burn through these logs either. So it lasted the night for me. So that worked out well. Otherwise, the stove would have been way down in that hole. Well, everyone, I have just been having an absolute fun evening, but it is getting late now, and it's time to call it a night. I did a temperature check just a moment ago, and it looks like we've dropped just below 27 degrees, so the temperature is still on its way down. So what do you all think? Is it going to snow tonight? I'm still unsure. Let me know down in the comments section. Put your guesses. Is it going to snow, yes or no? I am going to start crawling into bed now. Like I said, so much fun. Made it a late night. I enjoy the late night camps. Let's see here. Breakfast in the morning's going to be pretty simple, pretty light. I think I brought up a Pop-Tart, and I'll have some hot chocolate, or maybe even some apple cider. I'm not too sure yet. All right, but until the morning, we'll see you all then. Good night now. Good morning, everyone. I'm not quite sure how much snow we got. I can hear it just a little bit out there right now. So we'll have to poke our head out here in just a moment and see how much we got. But yeah, I definitely hear it coming down. It doesn't sound like we got too much. Let's put it this way. It didn't snow enough last night that it woke me up. I'm going to put away a couple of things in the tent here, and then we'll go out and see how much snow we got. Well, there's a lot of snow on the door. You can see the outline of it right there. Bring it up closer. You see that? The outline of the snow. Okay, yeah, we got a bit. It just didn't wake me up last night. Oh my. 23 degrees. It's a beautiful sight out there. Trees got a light dusting. Still trying to snow, just barely though. That is just the fluffiest, powdery snow out there, right? So the temperature, you know, I think the weather report was wrong on the temperature. They were saying that it was going to be 33. No, 23. This is just powdery, way, way powdery. It's probably why I didn't even hear it hitting the tent last night. But what a beautiful scene. Absolutely beautiful. Let me get my boots on, and I'll show you more of it. Yeah, it's coming down just ever so slightly. I can see it in the light. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's beautiful. I think what I'm going to do this morning is to keep things just nice and simple. I'm going to make up some hot chocolate, just have my Pop-Tart. While the water's boiling, I'm going to start breaking down camp and everything. It's very quick to get this thing going with that toilet paper method. Not gonna need too much. And as you can see from the outside of the tent, still snowing. Enough to accumulate for sure. All right, we'll pack up that much for now, and we'll finish the rest after we have our hot chocolate. Take that off and let it cool down for a moment. I didn't mean to let that come to a boil. So just like last camp, I don't know if y'all can hear it, but down in the valley here, all the snowmobilers are starting to prep all their machines to head on out. Again, with a couple inches of powder on the ground, they'll probably have a really fun time today. Sounds like there's quite a few of them. All right, let's see here. I know, guys. Sound off in the comments below. Jeff, that is not a real breakfast. It's a Pop-Tart. Oh my goodness. I know, how sad. I don't know if I should even say bon appetit, right? Pretty sad breakfast. But hey, I'm not actually all that hungry anyway, so I'm probably just going to have the one. But it's just beautiful. Ever so slightly snowing. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but I think the only way that you all are going to tell that it's still snowing is because the side of the tent is starting to turn white, but it's ever so slightly coming down. It's still way too hot to drink. Didn't mean to let it come to a boil. Oh yeah, now we're drinkable. Cheers. Oh yeah. Tasty. Good stuff. All right, everyone. Camp is all packed up. I did a quick look about, make sure I didn't leave any trash around or anything else like that. Got the backpack on. Gonna start heading down the trail. Because of my back situation for the past 2 weeks, I didn't actually hike all that far to get into camp today. So I was figuring, let me just take you down the trail. We'll continue to enjoy the ambiance, and we'll say goodbye to each other at the bottom of the hill here. But let's get going. This is where it gets just a little bit deep. So I'll have to try to retrace my footsteps just so that there's no surprises. Whoop. See? It's pretty deep there. Gotta get back onto that trail right there. Then it'll be nice and packed. Whew. Trudging through the quicksand. Oh my goodness. This is just beautiful. Oh my goodness. Let me show you. Up the valley there. Snow's still certainly coming down. I'm not sure where that person went, but that's the trail that we're following right down there. Just looking at this, I think we've more got like 3 inches of new powder. Not too bad. Colder and more snow than what the weatherman thought we were going to get. It's just beautiful. I love the mornings like this. A little bit slippery though. Oh my goodness. This path right here, I'll show you here. It's coming up right behind me. So we just came from up there. That's the path that we take up through the trees here. Up the steep hill. I don't know if you guys can see that. Up the steep hill. That's where we go to do our hammock camping. Too steep, too deep this time of year now. You can see just off the side of the trail here, if you're not on the pack down, you're going to drop off quickly. Enough people come up here and it packs down a nice trail. So that's handy. Almost down to the reservoir. Even have some ice fishermen out there. And those mountains too. We need the snow for sure. Awesome. So seeing how that we're just about to the parking lot, we'll go ahead and sign off here. I want to thank you all for joining me. This has been a fantastic adventure. I really do love the snow time adventures. If you like the content that I'm providing and you want to support the BosqueeNet adventure, be sure to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or hey, you just want to chat, be sure to hit me up down in the comment section below. I always look forward to hearing from you. Well, I'm going to go throw everything in the truck and head on home. Thank you once again for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye now.